Good evening, folks. Live weather blog meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with this special tropical update for July 29, 2010. Latest Invest has been tagged by the National Hurricane Center. We have Invest 90L, and this one's way out in the central Atlantic, about 600 miles to the east of the Leeward and Windward Islands. It was that area of disturbed weather I showed you this morning, pretty far south here. Actually, it's below 10 north here. This is kind of attached to the ITCZ here. Area of disturbed weather, no close circulation at this time, but it is an area we're going to be watching the next 3 to 5 days to see if it has a chance to develop before it does get to the Leeward and Windward Islands. The National Hurricane Center gives this about a 20% chance of developing the next 48 hours. Taking a look at the latest visible satellite before the sun went down, you can see it getting dark out here, but last shot you could kind of see maybe a little bit of a circulation trying to get going in here, a little bit of a spin. Convection kind of waned as the day went along today, and that could be due to some of this dry air up here, so we'll have to watch for that. But again, still attached to the ITCZ, and it's going to have to get unattached from that before it starts to develop. Central Atlantic, just showing you, still have a lot of dry air to its north. Has a nice little envelope of moist air around it, so that could protect it for some of this dry air. Also, another system here the National Hurricane Center is watching. This is an actual tropical wave that's moving through the Leeward Windward Islands today. Don't really see much happening with this right now. National Hurricane Center gives this about a 10% chance of development. Again, this will be something to watch down the road. I think maybe once it gets into the Western Caribbean, by early next week, we might see something develop out of this. A lot of wind shear to its north now, not in the best environment, but again, something to watch for down the road. So here's our Invest 90L right in here. Looking at our wind shear maps, you could see this does have a good area of low wind shear out ahead of it the next 3 to 5 days. And that's one of the favorable things for development. Again, the things that aren't favorable, dry air, attached to ITCZ, really going to have to get out of that and move north. But one of the good things is, and you'll see some of the first runs of the models show this really taking off, some of the numerical models, and that's because there's not going to be much shear out here. So that's a positive. And as we get towards the islands, we'll have to see if this shear continues out here. But again, that's 5-6 days away. Okay, so latest model runs. This is Clark Evans Products out of FSU, and you could see again, west-northwest, eventually nearing the islands by about Tuesday. So plenty of time to watch this to see what happens. And here's those intensity models I was showing. I look at the LGEM, the LGEM, and the ships. Those are the two I look for. And they're both close to Category 2 here as it nears the islands. And that's because they're showing virtually not much wind shear going on with this. So, and that's basically what these models really go for, is basically the shear. And so again, a positive is no shear, or very little shear in its way the next 3 to 5 days. Some of the other models, here's the Canadian model, again showing development of 90L, and approaches the islands and north of the Windward Leeward Islands by Tuesday. And again, it actually develops that other system in the Western Caribbean, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Not much from the GFS. This is valid for Wednesday. Broad area, low pressure, Western Caribbean, and then our 90L. Little reflection here. Later on in the period, it kind of slowly develops it, but not too keen on the GFS right now. We'll have to see how that model performs. Looking at the Euro model, not much there. Again, this high pressure could be one of the things that keeps this from developing, as it could bring in a lot of dry, stable air into its north. So that's why I'm not totally excited about 90L right now. I mean, no shear out in front of it. That's the good news. But there's a lot of negatives still with it, and it's going to have to see how it goes. These first run models that we see tagged by the Invest, they're going to go here and there, and we're still going to get the GFDL and the HWRF models to run later tonight. We'll see what those have to offer. But so right now, that's what we're watching. I give it, National Hurricane Center gives 20% next 48 hours. That's about right. It'll be a wait and see with this one, and see what happens. Still has a long way to go. Like I said, it won't reach the, if it does develop, it won't reach the islands till about Tuesday. So we have a long way to watch this, and I will keep you updated on this, and all the rest of our great forecasters here at liveweatherblogs.com will also keep you informed of the latest. That's it for tonight. I will have another update for you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good night.